evening all. I'd like to welcome everyone to this insightful career development webinar, the first of its kind, being hosted by my humble self. I can see that the number of people are already in the meeting, while quite a number are trying to join the meeting. So because of time, we will not like to waste our time. We have promised that we'll start at 4:30, and this is about 4:31. So we'll start now while we hope that others will join us in the course of the meeting. Thankfully, we already have two of our guest speakers for today here with us. So I think it's a good time to start. Like I noted earlier, it's first of its kind. I'm hosting. By way of introduction, my name is Aziz Ayobade. I'm a quantity surveyor and I have about 16 to 17 years experience as a quantity surveyor within the industry. I've been opportunity to work with real estate consulting and as well as contracting organizations since the commencement of my career. I'm a member of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. I'm a registered QS with the Quantity Surveyor Registration Board of Nigeria, and also I'm a chartered QS with Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors in the UK. So this webinar is put together for us in the industry to discuss. You will agree with me that the role the construction industry plays in the nation building cannot be overemphasized. We know what the percentage of capital projects is taken on the last budget that was presented by the president to the Senate, of course, which has been signed. So, and again, we are the players in the industry, and then we must prepare ourselves for the challenges ahead. For the young professionals, it is a good opportunity for us to chart a path in the industry. There are a lot of opportunities, and for those who are experienced, it is also an opportunity for us to rediscover ourselves. We try to see how we can, continue to be relevant in the industry so that we can play our role in the continuation of shaping the industry for a better nation. So without much ado, I'm sure we've all seen the flyers that was sent across through which we were invited to this webinar. And that will have given a little bit of insights as to what the topics, the subtopics that are expected to be discussed at this meeting, as well as our speakers. To do justice to about 3 subtopics that we're having, we have invited experienced professionals in the industry. Here with me, I have a very senior quantity surveyor and construction manager. I have an architect who is also a principal, who is also a managing partner of his own firm. And I have a guru when it comes to IT in construction. And that is why you will see that the second topic we are going to be looking at is actually talking about how we can embrace technology as the future of our industry. So we are going to be starting with the first presentation, which is going to be given by our brother and of course mentor who is already here with us in person of QS Adebola Adeyera. But before I, give him the opportunity to begin his presentation, I'd like you to know that he is going to be talking to us on navigating your construction career, strategies for success. He's going to be doing that within 20 minutes. Now, who is QS Adeyera Adebola? QS Adebola Adeyera presently is a construction manager and project quantity surveyor with Enago Building Construction Limited. He is a graduate of consulting from FUTA, Federal University of Technology, Akure, and he has a second degree, which is a master's in construction management from the University of Lagos. He is an institute professional with for excellence and leadership. And with this, he has demonstrated in his ability to, through a lot of platforms that some of us on this call might be familiar with. One of it is the Nigerian Stock Funds of yours from the year 2013 till date. So he has led and he has mentored a number of professionals, quant surveyors who are doing very well in their various endeavors in the industry. Equally, uh, his contribution and involvement in series of volunteering tasks in the institute gave him the privilege to have occupied positions in the past and present with landmark success stories. QS Adebola has served as a Senate member of MNIOQS Lagos from 2013 to 2022. He's a member of the MNIOQS Education and Training Committee 2017 to 2021 and 2023 and is going to do that up to 2025 as well. He's a member of the NIQS Young QS Forum. He was the chairman of that forum between 2017 and 2019. He's also an executive member of the International Cost Engineering Council, Rising Professional. Since 2018 up to date, he's a certified mentor with the International Federation of Surveyors. And then I am introducing no other person but someone whom we are really going to enjoy pretty much this evening within the little time that he has to present to us. QS Adebola Adeyera, to please go ahead with his presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can you all hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. And you can see my screen as well.
Yes, yes.
All right. Please, I'll be communicating so that I'll need you to be responding once I make a request. Thank you very much. Good evening to all my colleagues in the construction industry. Good morning, good afternoon to people that may be watching us from all across the world, because everybody is at different time zone. It's possible that we might have a participant from another time zone where it is currently in the morning, some in the afternoon. But here in Nigeria, good evening to everyone. Thank you so much, Curious Ayodabo, my senior colleague, for this privilege and opportunity to speak on the topic that has been assigned. I want to believe that on this virtual meeting today, we have professionals that cut across all the different aspects of our industry. I will be speaking on the topic that has been assigned to me: navigating your construction career strategy for success. I we don't want to speak so much about myself because Curious Ayodabo just read a brief of my profile and the little achievement I've made in the industry. Thank you so much for that. Navigating your construction career strategies for success. I'd like to speak from the perspective of, I believe a lot of us have a proper understanding of the word navigation. Navigation is something that has to do with planning, it's not necessarily that it's going to be like a seamless process. There are difficulties. For example, when a pilot, when a pilot in an aircraft experience a turbulence, a lot of things comes into play. You talk about experience, you talk about the skills for him to have been able to navigate uh, through the storm. Same thing applies to navigating either driving a car or any other thing. But one thing is actually important. Before you can navigate, you need to have a foundation. You need to have a foundational knowledge of what you are navigating. You need to have a foundational knowledge of what you're trying to drive. You need to have a foundational knowledge of your home career before we can talk about strategies for success. But I would just like to talk this evening. I think I have like 10, 15 minutes to talk, and I'll be talking briefly construction industry overview, which I believe that a lot of us who are experienced in the industry uh, might know better than I do. But I'm just going to speak briefly on this because of the people, students, graduates that might be with us. So it's actually very important for us to have an understanding of the industry. Then, secondly, we're going to look at the various career opportunities. Then we'll move on to skills required for career success, which has to do with the strategies that we need to adopt for us to attain the top echelon in our various professions and also to make impact. Lastly, though, I'll actually conclude. One thing I'd like to say is that construction, as we all know, can be described as an ancient human activity which began as a functional need for a controlled environment to moderate the effect of climate change. We need to look back to the beginning. How do people construct? One thing that is actually very important is that in the beginning, people live in the forest with animals. They're exposed to a lot of environmental issues. They can't coordinate their businesses in an environment that will be convenient for them. Then in the ancient days, there is nothing like road. You walk through the pathway in the bush. But the aspect of construction has actually brought into place, the functional need for we human beings to control everything that we will do. And part of the process that is actually involved, I mean, the process of development, you talk about the development of building, residential building, commercial building, you talk about infrastructure, industrial facilities, and other associated activities from the conception stage to the end of the lifespan of the building. When I say the word end, even when you have a building or you have an infrastructure facility, there's still need for you to maintain to ensure that that object fulfilled its importance. In some cases, you might go into remodeling, renovation. So construction activities is a continuous process. I'd also like to talk briefly about the opportunities we have in the Nigerian construction industry, where we have numerous trained skilled professionals, that are involved in the development of building infrastructure and industrial facilities. Those are the three key things that I would like to uh, say so much about construction. Construction, is actually vital for economic growth, human capital development, employment, and wealth creation. Construction activities cut across every sector of our economy. You talk about banking, you talk about oil and gas, and every other aspect of our economy, even in agriculture. Construction activities still take place in agriculture, building of your silos, building of construction of buildings that will be used to house agricultural outputs, which is actually very important. In the oil and gas sector as well, a lot of construction activities are happening. Banking, a lot of construction activities are happening. Mention that sector of the economy. You can't do without having the construction activities happening within that. Construction activities cut across every sector of the economy and asked vast value chain for different category of skills and unskilled workers. One thing is certain, the construction industry in Nigeria gives opportunity for a range of career and business opportunities for professionals such as quantity surveyors, architects, land surveyors, engineers, project managers, planners, estate surveyors, and valuers. The industry also has works to be executed by skilled artisans, and such as we talk about the plumber, the masons, the carpenters, electricians, and unskilled workers. Uh, Construction industry has opportunity for other professionals, which is not just only limited to us. In our respective organization, we have accountants, people that are marketing properties. You have the media and communication experts. In some cases, even human resource managers works within the industry. So it's not just limited to professionals. So a lot of people actually work in that industry. You may be surprised that there are medias and communication experts that also work within the industry. And one thing is certain, the multiplier effect of the industry needs create streams of businesses for manufacturers of the products required for construction work, thus creating employment opportunity and development of local content. We will be talking about how do we navigate. We all know there are various career opportunities. So I just want to focus more on the professionals within the built environment. There are various career opportunities. Talk about architects, engineers. We have the civil engineers, the electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, transportation engineers, safety engineers, and different field, of engineering. We also have the quantity surveyors. We have the time planners, the surveyors, the land surveyors, geoinformatics surveyors, estate valuers, and managers. Then we also have the BIM specialists. Those are the techie, construction tech experts, which can either be from any of the profession earlier mentioned. But to go back to the reason why we are having this conversation, the skills required for career success, it's very important. In my over 12 to 15 years of experience in the industry, I've learned a lot. And I'm going to share part of the lessons that I've learned with you. And then hopefully during the question and answer sessions, we can also interact. This is supposed to be like an interactive session, but I'm just providing a brief overview, for this particular topic that was actually assigned. When you talk about the skill required for career success, I just want to deviate a little bit. I want us to look at the entry level opportunities, talk about education and training. I will also talk about upskilling and qualifications. I will also talk about professional growth, experience to expertise. Then I'll talk about leadership, talking about management of people and resources. Like I earlier mentioned, navigating through your career in the industry, it's not a bed of roses. There will be challenges on your path. Challenges in terms of macroeconomic indices, challenges in terms of finances, challenges in terms of struggling for survival, challenges in terms of seeking for opportunity to explore your skill. There's a lot of challenges in the industry. But today we're just going to talk about how to navigate, how to scale through, how to attain personal accomplishment, personal success in your various chosen field of practice. So I want to talk about the entry-level opportunities, which has to do with education and training. We talked about degrees and certification. In some university or tertiary institution, let me put it that way, a lot of us had to go through some, I think national diploma takes about 2 years. for you to attain your higher national diploma. That might take about 4 years. By the time you look at your IT period, going through a polytechnic might take you between 2 to 6 years, subject to how you want to be trained. Subject to your choice. So that's that about tertiary institution going through a polytechnic. If it were to be true university, where you earn your Bachelor of Science degree or Bachelor of Technology degree, which usually takes between 4 to 5 years, depending on the university of your choice. So degrees and certifications is quite important, which I want to take as entry level opportunities for young graduates. It is very important that you have to be trained before you can fully have that skills. And secondly, I want to talk about the internship experience and your postgraduate work experience documentation, which is also very, very important. Very, very, very important, because I could remember years back as at 2008, during my own IT period, I had to study how my senior colleagues execute their work. I studied a lot of things from people that I work with, which has really helped me in life. While I was looking for opportunity in the construction industry, looking for a place to work, my internship experience plays a major role, because I was privileged to work in a consulting firm in Ikeja. As at that time, I came from one of the innermost cities in Nigeria. Coming into Lagos, which was quite challenging. Lagos, as at 2008, is not the same Lagos that we had. So there's been a lot of improvements. One thing that helped me during that period, during my internship period, is that I never allowed myself to be limited, because in various organizations, which some of us might have experienced, internship, a lot of times your senior colleague can turn you to an office assistant rather than taking you or through the tutelage of what is required of your profession. They can use you for something else, but you need to take a decision. You need to plan. So internship experience and postgraduate work experience is quite important as part of a basic essential need for you to be able to navigate through your career path. During my internship, I made extra efforts. I usually request. I don't want to be limited to only within the wall of the building we're using for our business. I made attempts to go to various sites, to learn about the various construction going on different sites, construction of roads, buildings, and a lot of things, even to the extent of making requests to attend meetings where you interact with other stakeholders, which is actually very important. And immediately after my first degree, before I had to go for my second degree, uh, I, I I got engaged in some postgraduate work experience, which is actually very important. Some might be privileged to get paid. Some, the pay might not be that enough for you to. I don't want to call it. The pay might not be enough for you to execute a lot of things. But one thing I need us to really focus on during this period is acquiring the knowledge that is required, because whether we like it or not, as you grow in your career path, knowledge is key. Another thing I also want to talk about is knowledge enhancement through conferences and seminars. Immediately after my first degree, I made up my mind that I'm going to register with the professional body, and I'm also going to be attending conferences and seminars. And why do I attend conferences and seminars? Some of the reasons why I decided to go for conferences and seminars, it's not because I have all the money. Neither is it because it was quite easy. But I've come to discover that for you to attain a progressive growth in your career path, you need to attend conferences and seminars to be able to build up your knowledge and skills. It is very, very, very important. Some people might decide that they want to attend conferences and seminars to just earn CPD points. I would want to advise us not to go that route, because you will earn the CPD point, but the technical know-how might be difficult for you to get. So it is very important that even as a student or as a graduate, once you want to have a career progression, you want to make progress in life, it is very important for you to build up your knowledge and your skills, improve on it. One other thing I'd also like to talk about is our digital technology skill. For entry-level opportunities, digital technology skill is very important. And I would like to share from my own personal experience. After school, I developed my skill in programming. I developed my skill in how to prepare a program of work using Microsoft projects. And that was the singular skills that distinguished me from other people when an employment opportunity came. Nowadays, there are a series of digital skills that young graduates, and even the experienced ones can also learn, whether in architecture, land surveying, quantity surveying, because we are going into an era where our traditional work plan is we're taking it away from the paper-based system, a cloud or a computer-based system. So whoever that would not develop their skills, their technology skills, might not be able to navigate, might not be able to excel, and might not be able to participate in some opportunities that comes for professionals in the industry. Digital technology skill is very important. Then lastly, adaptability, professionalism, and ethics. Because of time, I'm trying to see how best I can deliver all this within the stipulated time, because I'm also looking at my time here. So then something that is also very important is a soft skill, talking about writing, teamwork, and problem solving. Those are the entry level opportunities in the construction industry under under the conversation of education. There could be more than this. Please, let's not limit ourselves to what you can see on the screen. Do you get my point? And the second one, I'd like to move on to upskilling and qualification, which is very important. The skills you have now, I do hope you are improving on the skill. It's very important for you to upskill, learn new things. If you have decided that you want to be a tech expert in the industry, don't just limit yourself. Continuous learning is key. And that is that is one strategy that can give you a personal self-fulfillment in life. Keep acquiring knowledge, keep building up your skill, keep learning, improve on the things that you know. Don't limit yourself. You can never become a don in learning. Learning is continuous. So learn to expand existing skill sets, which is very important. Online courses, everything is available online. In some cases, can be paid courses, some can be free. We have it on YouTube, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. When you go on social media, what do you utilize your data for? There are a lot of distractions. And at the same time, some people are making series of opportunities, marketing themselves on social media, marketing and sharing knowledge, attending online courses for them to be able to upskill. Specialized skill training increase employability opportunity. Because one thing you need to know is that in that your career, in that your organization, your employers might have employed you based on some certain skills, but they actually expect that you will improve on that skills and add more skills that will be essential, for the organizational growth. One other thing that I'd also like to encourage us is professional examination and certification is very important. It creates a competitive advantage. During my internship period as far back as 2008, I made up my mind that once I finish from school, I'm actually going to register with my professional body, which is Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. I'll go through all the processes it entails, and I won't stop there. I will also uh, become a qualified and a registered quantity surveyor with the regulatory agency. Every profession in the industry has a professional body. Usually we call it an institute, also a regulatory body uh, that have been established by the decree of the federal government. They have the utmost power to regulate activities of professional within a certain sector. So professional examination and certification is very important, and it creates a competitive advantage. It helps you to navigate through the turbulent period. If you go online right now in your chosen career, in your chosen profession, just go online and search for job, you will see that part of the basic requirement for your job for the job opportunity are professional certifications. So if you don't have professional certification, you might not be able to navigate, you might not be able to improve, you might not be able to get a new opportunity that would make you to explore your skills and talents. So professional examination and certification create a competitive advantage. Then it also improves confidence in abilities and boost your credentials. I've had some colleagues that uh, have all the required certifications in terms of project management professionals, professional body, a different certification mention it. When they are applying for a job or they want to change their job, they have that confidence. Even in negotiating for salary, an employer cannot bring what an employer cannot an employer cannot bring what will not be their what. They have that confidence to simply tell an employer, this and this I'm bringing to your organization. And as such, if you look at the salary scale, this should be my salary scale. They don't beg. When you have professional certification, you could also create some level of independence for you. You can either decide to work in an organization or decide to be on your own. I've had colleagues that immediately after school, they had like 2-3 years of experience, and with their professional certification, they launched out. They launched out, and they are really doing wonderfully well. So navigating through your career path, it's something that has to do with your personal vision, personal goal in life. You must be conscious about it. And then also when you upskill and you have the required certification, it boosts your employee morale and create job opportunity for you. I don't know if a lot of you have had experience where you had to do an insurance for your company, construction company. You see that part of the requirement when you are submitting application for a builder's risk insurance, you must have certified professionals in your organization. I think even up to the extent of CAC company registration, or if your company is bidding for jobs, some of the things that are very, very important that our consultants usually ask for is to see the list of professionals within that organization. So when you upskills and you have professional certification, it will bolster your employees' morale. It will bolster your employee and your employer's morale. Let me put it that way. Do you get my point? And it will also create like a job opportunity for you as well. Then the last thing that I want to talk about under upskilling and qualification is increased productivity. I think our time is fast spent, the time given to me. Then I also want to talk about the next level, which is about the personal growth and development. Personal growth and development is very important. It makes you to be a more responsible person. It's a process where you conduct like a smart assessment on your personalities. It makes you conduct a smart assessment on your personalities. It enhances your meditation, reading, and writing. Then I'll talk about practice overcoming procrastination as part of your personal growth and development. Then you need to learn new personal relationship skills and tracking your habits. If you want to navigate through your career path, you want to attain success in your chosen career path, it's actually very important for you to focus on your personal growth and development. It is very important. I've talked about certifications, I've talked about upskilling, but one thing that is also very important is your personal growth and development. You need to have that self-awareness. You need to know who you are. You need to conduct a personal assessment on how you relate with people within your industry. You need to conduct a personal assessment on your own character. It's very important. I've had colleagues that were thrown out of their job because of their personality. They can't tolerate, they can't relate, they can't even read ordinary condition of contract properly, even talk about drafting. So your personal growth and development is key to enable you to navigate through your career path. It's very, very important. Then you need to develop a growth mindset and you know yourself. Because one thing about knowing yourself is to know what you can take, what you cannot take. It will be easy for you to manage your relationship with people. A lot of people have anger issues. They can't simply control it. And they've not been able to maintain a steady career growth plan. So it's also very important. Your personal growth and development is key. I also want to talk about experience to expertise. Mastering your skills, review skills built at work, and continuous self-assessment is very important. You might have experience to become an expert in that chosen career. A lot of things you need to do, in the sense that you need to display commitment to self-improvement. You need to invest in time and effort for you to become an expertise in that career that you have chosen. You need to set specific goals and engage in deliberate practice. You need to focus on progressions, improve on interpersonal skills, find a mentor if need be, and committed to learn under the tutelage of your mentor. You might have experience. Experience does not make you suddenly become an expert. It takes some time. It takes some process, which you need to engage in. Then lastly, I want to talk about leadership and management skills, which is very important, which actually create purpose towards contributing to organizational growth and achieving results. From my own little experience, my active participation in volunteering in several areas that are volunteers has really enhanced my leadership and management. You won't know yourself until you have an environment where uh, you interact with people, you learn about people's character, and you're able to manage different characteristics of people. To become a leader is not something that is one day. It takes a period of time for you to become a leader and have some management skills. Because if you need to navigate through your career path to attain success, you must have some key characteristics of a good leader: providing direction and creativity in managing resources and value proposition. You must be able to facilitate change as a leader, improve decision making, and ability to effectively communicate. You must know your strength and weakness analysis of your team members, of yourself, and that of your team member as a leader. Then you must have what we call team collaboration and problem solving skill for you to become a leader. All these things you build them as you grow in your career path. You must be able to master some leadership and management skills that will create pathway to professional success. In conclusion, I'd like to, I'd like to say that the strategies and skills required for achieving a successful career in the construction industry can be incubated from the undergraduate period as a student and nurtured to grow through the phases of transformation. The easiest process of pathway to be successful stem from personal growth and development plan, developing a positive mindset and openness to learning, recognize your areas of improvement, and actively seek guidance and mentorship to enhance your skill and knowledge. Registration with your professional bodies and regulatory bodies is important, inclusive of attending conferences and workshops, volunteering to serve in the institute and other affiliated bodies individual can develop their leadership and managerial essential skill towards the attainment of your plans. So navigating through is not something that is easy. There is no one way direction to it. I've only tried to share some basic things that you need to work on. So that's where I'd like to say a very big thank you to the organizer of this event. I still remain myself, Adeyera Bola. Thank you so much for the privilege. During the question and answer period, I might be able to shed more light on some of the few things that I've been able to research on and I've been able to communicate. Thank you so much for this privilege. I'm very, very grateful. I do not take it for granted. You can decide to connect with me on LinkedIn, communicate for us to enhance our communication. I've also shared my email address, bola@enagobuilding.com. My phone number is also here on the screen for you to look at. Thank you so much. I'd like to stop here to enable us learn from others.
Thank you very much, Adeyera. It's been an insightful and wonderful presentation there. And I'm sure we all must have
So I
learned.
hope I'm still within my time. So sorry
At
that
least you tried.
I spent more than the required time.
But at least you are able to
Apologies.
manage. I know you have a lot to dish out, but as a result of time, we know we are all busy professionals, and we don't want to take much of our time. Otherwise, I would have just asked Ms. Adeyera to continue with his presentation. However, within the limit of his time, he was able to touch on a number of issues that is very important for us as professionals to actually navigate our career for success. And I'm sure we must have noted down a number of points from his presentation, ranging from uh, issues of learning new things, which is very, very important, having specialized skills, and then which will also enable us to be independent. Issue of personal growth is very, very important. Um, I recall he picked it from, he mentioned that to navigate for successful career, it is it must be incubated from when we are in our undergraduate days. And I recall that at every point in time, as a practitioner in the industry, you will always remember something that you failed to pay attention to that you now needed at a particular point in time. You didn't pay attention to it while in school, but when you get to the industry, it happens to be something that is very useful for you, and you will remember. So that is why you must not leave any stone unturned at that particular level. And for um, anybody at any level of his or her career, it is important. There are some key things you mentioned that is very, very important. One of it is team collaboration, you know, having, relationship. You mentioned the issue of anger issue. You know, those are little things that affect a number of persons in navigating, because it is important to be able to maintain relationship. You know, you must be able to, have the best of relationship with employers, co-workers, professional colleagues. So because you don't know at what time you require their assistance in moving up to the next ladder in your career. So I want to thank you, Bola, for that insightful, very, very deep conversation you've initiated this evening. I'm sure by the time we get to question and answer segment, a lot of issues will come up for further deliberation of this. So to quickly move on to the next presentation is my brother that is also here with us. He will be discussing with us uh, embracing technology as the future of the construction industry. You will notice that one of the things that Adeyera also mentioned while during his presentation is that we must embrace technology skills, IT skills. As a matter of fact, there are people who, just like our next presenter, who have created a kind of niche for themselves in that particular area. They have decided to hold on to that particular segment of the industry to keep developing IT solutions for the industry, and that's quite fantastic. So, and that is one of the reasons why we want us to tap from that knowledge this afternoon. So, I'm going to be handing over to Mr. Kehinde Ayobade shortly, who will be taking us through that particular topic. However, let me tell you briefly who Mr. Ayobade is so that at least we can have an idea of who is going to be talking to us. He is a dynamic professional with over 5 years experience in the engineering and technology sector, driven by a strong commitment to making a meaningful impact in the world. His expertise encompasses structural engineering, building information modeling, software development, construction technology, and innovation. He's a graduate of civil engineering from Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, and he has collaborated with top firms in the architecture, engineering, and construction industry across countries like Canada, the USA, Bulgaria, and Sweden. Kehinde has served as a BIM manager, design technologist, structural engineer, and software developer. Additionally, he is a vision and is the brain behind KS Digital Innovations, a startup dedicated to crafting software solutions for the engineering field. Notably, he recently introduced a custom-ready plugin designed to streamline the workflow of structural engineering professionals. The ingenuity of KS Digital Innovations earned the company the prestigious Outstanding Startup Award at the BIM Africa Innovations Award 2023, which was held in Morocco in May 2023, and FAO 2023 Young Professional Excellence Award for Innovation in South Africa. He is an ardent advocate for pushing the boundaries of what is possible through innovation. And I am introducing no one else to you this evening to take us to the next topic, other than Mr. Kehinde Ayobade. Mr. Kehinde, please, you can have the floor. Thank you very much.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me? Thank you very much, sir, for the introduction. Thank you very much, ADLM, for inviting me to speak. I really appreciate this opportunity. Okay, so straight to my presentation. I'm going to set my stopwatch now. It's 15 minutes. Do I have 15 minutes or 20 minutes?
20 minutes.
All right, I'll set my stopwatch to 20 minutes. Um, okay, I don't know if you can see me. I think the lighting is a bit dim. All right, thank you very much
We
once
can only
again.
see your picture.
My picture. Um, I joined the two accounts. One is presenting and one is using the mic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you've seen me with one of them. All right. You will see Ayobade on it. All right, I'll be presenting with the Ayobade account. Just 1 second. Okay. Please let me know when you see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Okay, I'll be talking about embracing technology as the future of the construction industry. So I would say that I've spent a bit of 5 years, in 5 years in this industry, and I've interfaced with a huge number of clients and contractors and other consultants like myself. I've worked on some projects that I know that okay should on some large projects, small projects, medium-sized projects, and I've got to understand that we cannot take away technology from our industry because they are two different how do I put it? There are two different ecosystems, technology, construction, but they work seriously hand in hand. And because they work hand in hand, one way or the other, we need technology in construction, in our construction methodologies, in our designs, in taking up projects, doing quantities and the like. So I would say that it is it is perfect. It is not perfect breaking down why we need to use technology. It is not perfect breaking down why we need to create technology. It's not perfect breaking down why we need to embrace technology. Look at countries like China, look at countries like the United States. We will
Sorry, Mr.
understand that. Sir? Yes, sir.
You have a bit of noisy background. Is there a way you can make
Okay, I
up?
have a noisy background.
Yes, there is an echo. It seems to be okay. Maybe because you are connecting with two devices.
Okay, I'm gonna do something now. Let me quickly turn off. I think my mic is off here. All right, let me do something. How about now? Is it better now? Please let me know. Is it better now?
I think it's fair.
Okay, it's fair enough now. All right. Okay, back to my presentation. I was talking about some of the countries, developed countries that deploy technology in every aspect of the economy, in every aspect of their governance in industries like construction. So if you observe that these countries are using top-notch to technologies, they're using top-notch machines, top-notch um, inventions to kind of like streamline the way they do things. So if you look at China, for example, China is a country that is known for producing just anything. And if you look at their construction industry at large, you observe that they are a country that don't take so much time constructing buildings and infrastructure like we do here in Nigeria or in any other part of the world. So we need to understand the importance. We need to know that okay, if we are supposed to streamline, if we are supposed to do things better, if we are meant to do things better in our country, if we are meant to do things better in this industry, we need to embrace technology on all ends. Okay, so I'm Kehinde everybody, and I'm here because I love technology. I have a passion for technology. I don't need to spend so much time introducing myself because they've done a bit of shared a bit of my experience with you, and you can find me on LinkedIn via this LinkedIn handle. Okay, so first and foremost, I would like us to understand that there are challenges currently in the construction industry that point us to why we need technology, or why we need to introduce technology, or why we need to be serious with deploying technology in construction. And navigating through these construction concerns, we understand that technology is not something that it's a yes or a no answer. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice because the world is moving forward, the world is advancing, and we have to understand that if we don't keep evolving with the world, we will find ourselves being shortchanged in a way. We find ourselves lagging behind, and we will still be experiencing these problems that we are experiencing, these challenges that we are experiencing in the industry. So it's important to understand what these challenges are. One of which is productivity issues. We find it hard to actually produce things, or let's say deliver projects um, quicker or faster because we are using manual tools, we are using manual methodologies. So if you are looking at construction methodologies, how we even prepare construction schedules is just to manual. It's not automated. You hardly use anything that has to do with automated technology to help with how we create things that helps our construction processes. So it's been a bit of concern trying to understand how um, why we need technology in construction. One of which is productivity. If we want to enhance our productivity, we need to make sure that we use tailored solutions to specific needs. For example, um, if you're on a construction site, if you want to carry out the building of maybe a two-story building, you need usually everybody knows that you will need human labor, but the world has gone past human labor, and human labor is basically what we are used to in our country, what we are used to in the industry here in our country. And for us to actually move forward and follow the trend and follow how the world is doing things, we would see that most countries, advanced countries, are using robots. Most countries are using AI technologies, AI related technologies to actually automate what this human labor would do. So productivity really spans a lot, cuts across a lot of a huge part of the construction industry. When we are looking at construction industry at large, it's not just construction. We're also looking at the design aspect, where architects comes in, where the engineers comes in, and where you have the inputs from quantity surveyors, like many of us that are in this meeting today. So we have to be productive, and the only way to achieve that is to deploy technologies that help us work faster. So safety concern also. Safety is usually many things. One of the many things that we ignore or we don't really look at or take into cognizance, especially here in Nigeria. We just want to get things done. We just want to make sure things are done ASAP, but we are not looking at the safety hazards and the safety risks that are involved. So when we are trying to trash out this kind of challenge, safety challenge, we need to understand that there are technologies that helps us to capture safety risk possibly on site and safety hazards that tend to happen if some things are done wrongly. So if you are looking at a typical construction site, you observe that anyone that doesn't wear helmet is basically putting himself under a serious risk. So not anything can just drop from the top of the building and hit that person's head. The person is gone. But there is a role technology can play in such situations because there are facial recognition technologies now that can recognize, okay, if humans are maybe putting on certain things. For example, during the COVID-19 period, whenever people are going through huge and large spaces like an airport, there is a facial recognition system that detects if a person is wearing on the face mask. So this kind of technology can be deployed in construction where you will have mostly where you have a technology or a tool that just detects if someone is putting on a helmet or putting on certain safety gears. So if the person does not put on certain safety gears, it can be that there can be an alarm that will pick up somewhere on site and tell everyone to freeze or something that will just ensure that everybody is putting on their safety gears. So this is how aside this, there are other safety measures that can be put in place via the use of technology. So safety concerns is basically one of the because we are exposed to a lot of things in the industry that can lead to um, the death of humans, can lead to the death of people. You get so there are lots of machines we use. We are using concrete, which is very heavy. So a lot of things. So technology has a way has a role it plays in such situations. I don't know if you can still hear me. I would like to know.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, great. All right, now cost overruns and delay. This is usually the biggest part of how do I put it? The biggest part of or the biggest concern for our industry, or let's say because it is actually client based. Every client wants to maximize cost. Every client wants to to make sure that they spend the least amount of money to achieve the most amount of their goals, project goals. So, but it is possible. It's actually possible, but with the way we work, with our construction methodologies, with our design methodologies, with the way we carry out things or do things in the industry, it is almost very impossible to achieve this. So there will be situations whereby there's a budget for construction, and after the project is done, or maybe after the first 5 floors, if it's a 10-story building, the first 5 floors, they discover that we spent way above our budget. It is because there is no proper use of no, there's no proper method of actually ensuring that what you put in, which is your budget, still comes out as the total project cost. So usually there are certain technologies now that are deployed for contractors. I think I was exposed to one, a white guy, I think I don't know which country, some white guys that reached out to me recently told me about their software, how it helps them to ensure that construction schedules are met, how to ensure that uh, the bill or the cost of construction, maybe during certain phases of the project, are achieved. So there's a way that software works that helps you to achieve that. People are coming up with tools like this. People are coming up with solutions like this all over the world. And these tools, if we can look deeply at those in-depth research, we understand that these things can actually help us in actually reducing cost overruns and delays. The construction schedules also is usually manual. Most times it's manual. Most times we don't pay attention to it, or we just do something very simple. But yeah, the sophisticated technologies that help us to reduce delays as well. So coordination issues is also one of the things which is not usually. I don't think it's still something that we are looking into. We talk about it, we shout about it, but based on my experience, we don't do it. Yeah, coordination when it comes to when it comes to the relationship between all the stakeholders within a project, a construction project. For example, you're talking about the architects, you're talking about the engineers, you're talking about the contractors, you're talking about the QS, you're talking about the project managers, you're talking about the client itself, himself or herself. Well, coordination in the sense that, okay, how do the architects design is the architect design in sync with every other designs from the engineers, possibly the MEP or structural engineer? Are their designs well coordinated, and are these designs buildable? So when you are when you have checked if they are coordinated, if they are in sync, going to site, are these things buildable? Is there going to be any sudden problem that will be encountered while constructing? Would there be clashes between the MEP pipes and maybe the structural beams on site that will start making causing people to throw blow at each other on site? So these things can actually be coordinated and checked before construction. So there are certain technologies that help us to achieve this. You get so but we are not really paying attention to this. We are not really looking in this direction. The world has gone far ahead of this, far far beyond this particular level of construction. How do I put it? Of ensuring that we have little issues or problems on site. The world has gone ahead of Europe, has gone ahead of us. US has gone ahead, China has gone ahead of us. But we are still battling with coordination there. Most people don't even use any tool that relates to that. So it's something that we need to look at. If you are to build, you have to make sure that designs are well coordinated and buildable. All right, so let me run. So the role of technology in construction. So we're going to look at the current technology trends and their roles. Building information modeling is one of them. It's popular. Everybody has been hearing about building information modeling, which is BIM in short. And so it's all about trying to deploy 3D models, 3D physical, and 3D models of physical facilities, structures, and what have you, and trying to ensure that you get information from these 3D models. You are creating models instead of just 2D drawings and like. So you are generating information from 3D views and 3D models, 3D what have you. So building information modeling is a process that cuts across, that has so many sub processes underneath it. that helps the construction of projects to be seamless. One of which is coordination, one of which is collaboration, a whole lot. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I have little time to share my thoughts. So we can take a look at these things in our personal time and understand the benefits that it has in construction. So we also know about drone and area imaging. Drones now are used to actually, if you have to look at the benefits of drones and area imaging. Drones, from my experience, are used basically by sophisticated contractors to capture site activities. So they are not just working, they are seeing who is working, what's happening, checking progress on site and the likes, taking pictures of, okay, this is when the project started, this is where the project is now. You can't, if they are not picture, if there are no such technology, you can't actually track or see the progress that is happening or that's going on the construction site. So this is one of the trending technologies now that most contractors use to actually track progress. And 3D printing in construction, I think this is not far-fetched from what we know. Everybody has heard about 3D printing. 3D printing can be used in any aspect of design. Artists use it, but it's now they are now machines. They are machines. They are how do I put it? They are, let's just use machines now that's been built by well-meaning manufacturers across the world that helps with 3D printing of buildings of infrastructure like bridges and the like. So you don't have to actually do the conventional or go through the conventional process of building certain structures and the likes. You can actually print it with a machine. You can actually just use concrete to build these things. And these things, this technology helps you to save time in construction. So IoT and Internet of Things, we talk about using sensors in buildings and the likes. It's closely related to what we call the digital twin. Digital twin. Digital twins are like a digital representation of already built asset or a facility. So IoT of things helps to track certain behavioral patterns of the building or possibly infrastructure. So it's a technology that most people use now to even check how a building is, the operation aspect of the building is managed, how the people using such maybe facilities are, how they are managing it, how they are using it. So it's just trying to use sensors to track, collect data about the use of a facility. So robotics and automation, robotics, I think is one thing that we need to really introduce in our construction sites and also even our design processes, where we have to actually cut down on time. A client wants to get the project done in 3 months, but because of the nature of how manual all our processes are, design processes and construction methodologies are, it's going to be very, very impossible to reach or to get to or achieve that schedule that the client has proposed. So with robotics and using robots on sites, using automation tools, you can actually cut down on design time, cut down on construction time. Augmented and virtual reality is also a trending technology that that can be used. That's where you use your VR glasses, AR. You can even use it on your phone. You can go to a site and actually coordinate your design, your 3D design with what is actually on site. So you can check if there's anything missing from the design on the design that is missing on site. So that can help you to actually connect your design to what has been built or what is being built. And then lastly, AI powered designs and construction methodologies. We've been hearing about how AI is actually making wave now in the world. And AI is not just for getting writing prompts and getting information about how do you do things like the popular chat GPT. Everybody knows about chat GPT. AI is not just chat GPT. AI models are not just what we know with Google Bard, ChatGPT, Microsoft, the other one that Microsoft did. So there are AI models now that helps with construction, that helps with um making specific or informed decisions on site while constructing and the like. So it's all about if you can do a deep research about these things. Some of these things already exist. So it's just for us to do our research and understand what are the benefits to construction. So what some of these benefits are increased efficiency, we work faster, we are enhanced safety, we work much safer when carrying out the construction processes, carrying out we're basically carrying out construction processes in a much safer way. So it saves cost also when we deploy technology. We improve collaboration and on environmental sustainability, which is where we are talking about the net zero. It's achievable with technology now, and predictive maintenance of machineries and the likes. So technology helps you to actually predict with tools, AI models that can help you tell, okay, this is what needs to be done on this machine. This machine is already experiencing for you. You need to every 3 months you need to maintain this facility, maintain this asset in this building, and so on. Technology has gotten to that stage already. Something that can be achieved with technology. So, some of the challenges of actually deploying technology is the initial investment is usually very huge. You want to go into deploying using technology for certain things, you have to spend some money. You have to spend some money, and spending some money involves you having huge capital. So at times, usually the capital is usually capital intensive. That's one of the challenges with deploying certain kinds of technology. But if any country can do it, we can as well do it. We have the money, just that we are just reluctant. We are usually very reluctant. So another challenge is workforce training. If you want to deploy technology or use certain kinds of technology for certain kinds of problems or to solve certain kinds of problems, you need to equip the workforce, the people that are involved. You need to equip and the staffs and the likes, which is maybe trying I think one of the issues with this is that we tend to shift people away from their normal business to actually trying to train themselves. So it might take away the time for actually making money to actually to time and to the time for upskilling. So usually most companies don't like that. But any company that does that is a very wise company, because it's in upskilling that actually builds the viability of any business. So also data security. Data security now, because technology is basically, I would say it's basically open source. What you can do with technology, any information you need right now, you can get on the internet. So usually data now with technology is kind of exposed. So that's why people have issues with actually trying to do things with technology because they feel that something can anyone anywhere can just come and hack their data or hack their framework or their system. You get so these are some of the challenges that are involved with deploying technology. However, technology the pros compared to the cons of technology is usually higher, way higher. You have more benefits of technology compared with challenges. So, no, in conclusion, I'd rather put this in perspective because I'm a creator of technology. I create technologies. I have a company that builds solutions, build software solutions for companies abroad, Canada, US, Bulgaria, Sweden, and I've been building connections with a lot of people, even with here in Nigeria, architectural firms, where I speak to some of the architects. Okay, what do you need to automate in your company? What issues are you experiencing that you need to automate? And I help them to develop these things. So I'll rather put in perspective the conclusion that we should not just be users of technology, we should also be creators and producers of technology. It's very important for us. Why? Because it help our economy, the country, it's going to help our industry, it's going to put our country on the map. We are basically using tools and software technology products from have been developed by countries or people from other countries abroad, other continents abroad. And then we hardly produce our own. We hardly have anything that is produced by us. So I would rather advise that while we are working towards deploying technology on every aspect of our projects or within the scope of or this construction industry, let us also look at the aspect of how can we create technology. Okay, how can we be producers of technology? I think this is the next step for us in this industry. And I'll say thank you for listening. This is the end of my presentation. So if you have any questions, you can drop it with the convener, and let I think with the wisdom I should be able to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kehinde. You do on a very wonderful job. Just like yes, Adeyera, I know you don't have enough time to really dish out everything you need to dish out, but at least within the time frame that we have, we have tried to, let us understand how we can leverage on technology in the industry. And I know that as usual, we must have learned a lot. I personally have picked a lot of things from that presentation. Um, Talking about issues that technology will actually resolve for us if we're able to embrace it in this industry. Part of it is the issue of cost overrun, and of course, we all complain that the cost of construction in Nigeria is one of the highest in the world. And there are a lot of ways by which technology can help us to reduce cost overrun on our projects. And then also safety concerns, you mentioned about productivity issues. There's no doubt that technology gets things done very, very fast, very fast. And then I like to take us back to those periods when you have to do everything manually. Even the level of technology we embrace now is not even, we are not there yet, but at least we can tell that there's a huge difference from when, for example, as a QS, you need to, you know, do your what you call your taking off manually, then begin to extend, walk up, and all of that, and go through all those stages. But nowadays, once you upload your designs on your system and you have some measuring tools, be it Plan Swift, Costex, or whichever tool you decide to use, it's easy to pick up your dimensions, come up with your quantities, and then you are there. So, I mean, we cannot say that, I mean, we cannot underestimate what technology will do for us as professionals and how much it will improve our productivity as both as individuals, as a company, and as a nation as well. So coordination issues was mentioned, and he also, you know, enlightened us a bit about the current technology trends, talking about BIM, and this is where we are still trying to survive. It's been difficult for us in this part of the world, even embracing the good information modeling. Up to this moment, a lot of organizations cannot even coordinate their drawing using these tools yet. So, but the fact and the truth of the matter is that as professionals, whether as young professionals or senior professionals, we need to be up to speed as far as technology is concerned, because very soon, if you are not up to speed with technology, you will no longer be relevant in this industry. That is one thing that is very, very certain. So I'm sure the question and answer segment will throw more light to the things that he may not have mentioned during his presentation. So right now, we'll go quickly to the next and the last presentation we have for today, and that will be delivered by an highly experienced architect in our midst today, uh, who happens to be a member, is an architect registered with ACON, and is also a member of NIA, Nigerian School of Architects, and he's gathered well up to over 20 years experience in the industry. For you to know that someone that is full of wealth of experience. Um, he is the principal, the managing partner and the founder of BBC Architects, which is the an architectural firm doing pretty well in the industry in the country, with a number of projects in their portfolio. Um, I'm welcoming to our midst and also handing over to architect Abdulrahman Dolapo Bello to proceed with his presentation on the topic expanding horizons, development opportunities for built environment professionals. I trust that you will enjoy his presentation. Thank you very much. Architect Bello, please go ahead. Architect Bello, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, all. It is my pleasure to be part of this presentation this evening, and I would like that we all pay attention so that we can get one or two things from the lecture. I've heard the previous presentation, and of course, we have gained one or two things. So please let us pay attention. We don't have much time, so I'll try to be as brief as possible. Can you kindly share the screen of the slides? That's this.
Oh, okay. Please hold on. Sorry.
So what I want to discuss is the developing opportunities for the built environment professional, knowing that we have expanding horizons, and these horizons are not limited to our environment. They are international. And eventually, as professionals, we must ensure that we are able to deliver to international standard. That's exactly what makes us professionals. Are we able to share the screen?
Just a moment, please.
Okay.
Okay, I think you should see my screen now.
Yes, you can see it now. Thank you very much.
So you can put it on full slide. If you can't get it, I think that's fine, as long as you can see the screen.
Okay, let's go ahead.
All right.
So our next slide is going to make us understand the built environment, which is surrounding where we live, where we work, and where we interact with people. And the built environment are physical structures. These are also spaces that are created. That means it's not necessarily there's a structure, but spaces that have been created for us to interact and to live with, to have interaction with other people. And the built environment is also an interdisciplinary field that involves architecture, engineering, urban planning. So it's not only for a particular faculty, it spreads across several faculties. So next slide, please. So who is the professional? A professional is a person who is qualified to carry out a specific activity. A person that is engaged in a specific activity following the professional code of conduct. So a professional has to be somebody that has competence, has to have the confidence, he has to be able to communicate properly, and he must be problem solving. Must also have integrity, whereby his work is going to be exactly as he has described, is going to deliver it. Then he also has teamwork, the spirit of teamwork, whereby he can work with several people from diverse cultures. And he also has to show leadership in the things that he does. And he must have emotional control, whereby the characteristics of people or the activities of people will not make him or not debar him from delivering his work appropriately. Next slide. So we observe that we need to have some skills such that these skills are the skills that will enable us to be able to sail through the challenges of what is evolving. And so for us to be able to achieve that, we need to have the ability to do data analysis, because the world is evolving now, whereby a lot of things has to be put in place for your design to be out. We know that right now there are several things that are happening. For instance, you have the green architecture, whereby our environment has to be in a livable space, whereby we reduce the amount of carbon emission. And so because of this, we have to ensure that we have enough data to be able to attain the sustainable designs. And also, when you are collecting this data, you must ensure that the data are for ongoing projects, the existing building performance, that you see how the building is performing, and also occupational behavior. That's those who are living inside those buildings. How are they reacting to the building that you have constructed? How are they using it? Are the spaces functional for them? So we have to ensure that we collect all this data and use it in subsequent ones in making codes for our building. The previous speaker also mentioned the Internet of Things. It is when we collect this data from the various buildings that has been constructed, then we can now impute it in subsequent codes. Next slide, please. So the other skill that we have to develop is critical thinking skills. This is the ability to clearly and rationally think for better decisions. A lot of times, we must always free our head and ensure that we are able to deliver our projects and solve the problems that may occur based on the projects that we are handling. Also, we have to have the ability to understand the impact of new technology. There are some projects right now whereby the contractor is still using analog way of communicating. That's the drawing. He doesn't know how to develop drawings using the CAD software or the BIM software. From AutoCAD to BIM, you find out that the BIM actually extracts more information from buildings, which the contractor is meant to use for his construction. So if the contractor does not know how to use the software, the AutoCAD, or even the BIM, then whatever the engineers or the architects may have designed into the building might not be able to implement it because he is not up to date with the current trends. Also, our critical thinking abilities is going to make us foster a mindset of curiosity and eagerness to ensure that we explore new ideas, because there are always new ideas every day. I'm sure a lot of us must have heard of the virtual reality. Virtual reality and augmented reality are ways whereby they have created apps that have immersed technology into visualizing and simulating elements which are not physically present. So we can see things which have been designed by the designer but not yet created, and we can decide to modify them before they are implemented. These are what technology has brought. Next slide, please. So communication. Communication is the ability to communicate effectively with all stakeholders. You must be able to communicate with every single person. As new technologies come on board, part of the challenges is for us to be able to relate with people, because people have diverse trainings, they have diverse cultures, and they have diverse knowledge. And so we must develop our communication skills, both verbal and written, so that we can collaborate with everybody, from the clients to the users of the space that we are bringing the new project, and to the end users eventually. Also, everyone on the construction team, we must be able to communicate with everybody so that we can get the necessary progress. Next slide. And the last one is problem solving. Problem solving is very, very important, because when we are able to get problems solved, everything that we have on our projects, we are able to achieve them. Everything that we have on our plans. Among the things which we must also understand is that not every problem is technical. There are some problems that are emotional problems, whereby the client is coming with those emotions, and we must be able to understand them and resolve them. And that's the reason why you find out that there are some projects which are bidded by economics, accountants, or people that are not in the built environment industry, and yet they will get those contracts to construct those projects, while those who have been trained in engineering, in architecture, are not able to get those projects. Why? Because of those soft skills. So we must be able to solve all the problems that come on a project without necessarily looking at it only through the technical views. Next slide. So after understanding everything, how do we now, what are the strategies which we are going to use to develop our career? So the first one is to get a degree. So we must apply and enroll for courses that are relevant in the construction field, and also courses that will develop these characters that you have described earlier on: communication skills and soft skills, and others that will make us to have those skills to be able to take and convince our clients and convince people that we are working with that we can deliver the projects. So apart from the physical courses, we can also take online courses, and we have a lot that are online, and we can enroll in them, and this will give us the necessary skills that we seek, that we seek to earn. That's the next slide. Job exposure. When we work with big corporate firms, we are able to achieve a lot of experience. So we find out that those corporate firms have been able to break through those challenges, and they are able to see through to ensure that they get those projects. So when you want to do a high-rise project, maybe like 20 stories to 40 stories, you'll find out that you encounter a lot of these challenges. So if you are not able to get a full-time job with these big corporate firms, you can get a part-time job with them. Even you can even do volunteer, whereby you are not getting salary. You begin to relate with people that are in the firm, in the company, and with time you gather experience, and with that experience you also gather a lot of networking, and you can use it for yourself. Next slide, please. So you also get a mentor. Getting a mentor is very important, because a mentor who has more experience, who has actually gone through all the thick and thin to become successful in the profession, will understand how to achieve success in the built industry. So it is necessary that we also know the kind of mentor we want to get. It's somebody that is going to be committed, that is going to put a lot of time into the relationship building, and whenever you go to him, he is always ready to provide guidance, provide advice, and provide support as required. Next slide. Yes, among the things we can do is to get more knowledge from reading magazines. We read relevant magazines that are about the built industry, built environment industry. So, and there are a lot of them out there. So if we are able to read about them, there are a lot of advantages we are going to get. First, this is going to make us to have a clear mind. We're going to reduce our stress levels, because you are actually reading things that you are interested in. So eventually you are going to increase your, also going to sharpen your knowledge. So, and sharpen your vocabulary. And when you read these magazines, you improve your knowledge on new trends, and you are able to combat those new trends, because some other people who already have experience on them will be sharing their ideas via those magazines. Next slide. Yeah, we attend conferences. Conferences and workshops, they help a lot in networking. You can meet a lot of people that already have experience, and they'll all be gathered in one place, and they'll all be discussing things that they have been able to achieve. Among them are also people who have excelled in the things that you are trying to experiment. They have already passed through that stage. So you don't need to be recreating the wheel. So when you attend conferences and workshops, you see how people have created wheel. So you can now use that knowledge and input it in a vehicle, and then you are thinking about how to create a vehicle rather than thinking about how to create a wheel that is already a technology that people already know and is already in use in several places. So among the things is we should try and attend a lot of conferences and workshops so that we can get more knowledge. Next slide. So this is where I would be concluding my lecture for today, that the built environment is a dynamic and ever-changing field. There's no way you can prevent those changes from happening. So what is required is for the professional to continuously engage in skills development that will ensure that um, that is up to the task to take on evolving trends. So I hope with what we have listened to today, we can take one or two things as a means to developing ourselves for the emerging trends. I thank you very much once again for this opportunity to share my ideas with every one of us. And of course, if you have any questions, I'll be ready and willing to take them. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Architect Abdulrahman. You have tried to enlighten us a lot on what needs to be done in trying to, in ensuring that we expand our horizons. And then what we can do to also see opportunities that are developing in our environment as built environment professionals. And I believe that some of these points have been noted by the audience and is going to be taken back home for use. Because of time, I will quickly want us to go to question and answers. If we have anybody who is willing to ask one or two questions or contribute to the discussion that we'll be having over an hour now. I think the floor will be open now. We can have a hands up so that I can take questions and contributions within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, Mr. Taiwo Adegoke. Mr. Taiwo Adegoke, please proceed with your question or contribution. You are still muted. Mr. Taiwo, can you hear me? Yours good man. Can we have you? What's happening? Trying to see.
Please kindly unmute your mic if you have a question.
Mr. QS Goodman, your hand is up. Can you proceed? Unmute your mic and proceed with your question, please. I can also see Lolade hands up. Okay, any other question apart from those two hands we are seeing? Oh, you can't mute. Okay.
Okay, hello. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Okay, sorry. My mic was deactivated, so I was trying to send a message to you across. So, yeah, it's a nice one. I actually must commend the speaker, starting from yes, Bola, who actually shed more light as regards most of the challenges younger upcoming professionals could face, and some of their upbringing. I could remember back then when I was starting as a QS in an IT, as an IT QS. You know, you mentioned something that most firms regard IT QS is more like office assistant. It's so funny. It's true. It's true because I can remember my experiences back then, and I was more like, let me use the word boy. Let me, but all the same, I actually gained a lot. So looking at this BIM approach, it's actually a turn that every professional, whether old or young, needs to take, because it has actually made the best out of all of us, one way or the other. Will I say I actually, as well, I came up from a firm where I was actually brushed up on most of the BIM applications, where it was actually one I embraced so far. So I believe a seminar like this, a webinar like this will actually help both the young and the old to know what is awaiting them, because progress has never been one that you attain and rest. It has always been a continuous process until maybe one closes his eye, But the truth of the matter is, our progress has to be one that is continuous. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, yes. Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this program. My question goes directly to QS Bola Adeyera. It's a very simple question. What will be his advice after 5 years of graduation from the university? To go for a second degree now, or to pursue registration as to professionalism?
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Taiwo. I'd like to share my own experience. Even though I waited for 5 years, but in my own case, I never waited for 5 years. Immediately after graduation, I came back from service. I got an offer. But before then, as at when I was doing my IT, I had made up my mind that I will opt for my second degree, and at the same time, I will go for my professional certification as part of my personal development plan. I was so conscious about it. Do you get my point? But even after 5 years, it's never too late. If I'm to advise you, I will advise that you pursue the two. And these are my reasons. Having a second degree, either in project management, construction management, facility management, or anyone that you so desire that you want to build up your skills, you must be conscious about it. Don't just go for a second degree. Why do you want to go for a second degree? I don't know if you get my point. Some people go for a second degree to have an edge over others when they are competing for a job. Some decide to go for second degree to build up their knowledge capacity so that when in their community of practice, people are talking, people are speaking, they can speak from a knowledge perspective. Some go for a second degree for personal accomplishment. I'm a doctor. I have a PhD. Doctor that never practiced. Do you get my point? But that is good. Go for a second degree. I will advise you to go for that because it has a lot of advantages. You know, some people in their first degree, they never had a good grade. They applied for scholarship. They were unable to get scholarship, either scholarship to go abroad or scholarship to further their education, but they were unable to because they never did well in their first degree. So they made up their mind that in their second degree, they will go for it and excel so that future opportunities will not pass them by. Professional certification, on the other hand, is very, very important. And I'll tell you the reason why it is important. When you have your professional certification, you will have that passion and zeal to always attend conferences and seminars to enable you network with professional colleagues in the industry. That's one. Secondly, when you have your professional certificate and you can defend it, it boosts your morale, it boosts your confidence level. And one thing about we professionals in the construction industry is with your professional certification and registration with your regulatory body, whether QSRBN, ACON, Carbon, um, Coren, you know, whichever you have, a time will come in life when some opportunity will come your way to make you an independent person. In my own case, I work with Energo Building Construction Limited as an employee. And on the other side, when I have some consulting jobs, I partner with a friend. So we have a firm that we use in doing consulting. I don't know if you get my point. So if I decide to pull out of the company where I'm working currently, I've already laid a foundation for myself by the virtue of my professional certification and registration with the regulatory body. My professional certification is like an advantage to the organization where I work because when we tender for jobs, I submit my my valid practice license is part of the requirement. So it would be difficult for such an organization to say, Bola, go. Bola, we don't need your service anymore because I have what it takes for the organization to also have to also be able to obtain some opportunities in the industry. And one thing that I've learned and I'm very grateful to God for is because I had the mindset to enroll to get my professional certification, to attend conferences, to volunteer in the institute, I've been able to meet people that in my life at this stage, I wouldn't have had that opportunity. I don't know if you get my point. If I needed to call the immediate past president of African Association of Conservators,
I have it on my dial. Once I dial his number, I pick up my phone. Any of the past presidents of the institute, if I call them, they already have my contact. Those are some of the advantages that I've been able to get through volunteering within the institute. And if I had not opted to go for my professional certification, maybe I wouldn't have that opportunity. So my advice to you is both your second degree is important and your professional certification is also important, but you must be strategic. You must know the reason why you are going for it. 5 years, it's never too late. You can start now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope Taiwo is okay with that response from President Adeyera. Okay,
Yeah,
Mama
thank,
Adeyera. Yes.
thank you very much, Iweza Yodabo. My name is Iweza Lola Deshokoya.
You're welcome.
First of all, I want to appreciate this gathering, the organizer, and the speakers. I I'm big on self-development, learning, and always um, gathering knowledge. It's you're never too old, never too small to develop yourself at every time. And I want to appreciate everyone that has spoken. I really want to second what QS Bola has said concerning the professional development and your professional being certified. He has said everything. And I just hope the person that asked that question and every other person that is on this call that have not made that decision to certify themselves will go right ahead and start the process. And having said that, the question that I have goes to QS Bola actually. I want to pick his knowledge and ask this question that if a professional, a core professional, maybe like a QS, because I have one, I'll use that as example, wants to go into construction, what are the strategies that you can advise to be used to go fully into construction business? Let me put it like that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Construction business varies, but if I understand the question properly, uh, a QS that want to start a construction company, if I get it right, the processes
Yes.
are quite simple, and it's not that difficult. The most important thing is registration with the Corporate Affairs Commission, which is very important. And part of the basic requirements, either you are registering as a sole proprietorship or partnership, uh, a limited liability company, you need to also have other partners. So if such an individual has architect, civil engineer who are registered, such an individual might need to collaborate with them, in kickstarting such a practice, either as a board members or partnership. Construction, establishing a construction industry has to do with the kind of network that such an individual keeps. Because if such an individual is not someone that has a cordial relationship with architects, civil engineers, it might be difficult to keep having a sustained flow of projects. So a lot of analysis, personal analysis that needed to be done before such an individual would venture into starting a construction industry. That was on the side of company registration, collaboration with other professionals. But on the other side, registration with government agencies is also very important. And having a pool of skilled and unskilled workers. In the industry nowadays, it's difficult to get people that you can always trust, people that you can always depend on, people that will not siphon your resources of materials on site. So that aspect of recruiting the right hand for any project you might have at hand is also very key. It's also very important. So it's always advisable for whoever that might want to start up a construction company uh, to learn. You know, if you've been working in a consulting firm before, you can't just switch to construction. Even if it will take you to work in a construction company for about 2 or 3 years before you launch out, it's part of learning process. It's always good to learn from other established organizations so that once such an individual is taking a step to launch out, it will not launch out to using a trial and error. We've also had some of our colleagues, young conservators, who has real estate business, and to God be the glory, they've been executing some JV projects successfully, even at their very young age. I'm talking about people that are still under 40. You know, such individuals could also, within our community of practice, could also be a source of inspiration, and collaborating with them to learn how they get things done. It actually goes a long way. I will advise that such individual that might want to start a construction company to develop their learning paths, collaborate with other professionals, research more online, and build up your business plan, business proposal plan. Do your analysis, smart analysis. It's very important. Then you also must understand, why would you want to start up a construction company? Is it for personal wealth creation? Is it for the opportunity to be able to create employment opportunities for the unemployed? So your goals and objectives has to be well analyzed as well. I may not be able to explain how, but I think the internet has arrays of information that such an individual can also explore. Talk about quality control, HSE on construction site, a lot of things that will make such an individual stand out while launching forth. There's a series of information online as well that could help such an individual, but it's something that must be, it should not just be a sudden plan. It might take such an individual 2 or 3 years to learn, build the network, and collaborate. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that response was, really useful. It was already your hand up again.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe we have all learned something in this session today. And since there's no other question, I think it would be good to allow us to go and take our rests and engage in some other activities. However, I would like to really appreciate everyone for taking out time to attend this session. I'm very happy to have you. I'm equally appreciating all our guest speakers from PS Bola, who was the first presenter. Thank you very much. You are well appreciated. Also, Mr. Kehinde, Ayobade, you are well appreciated. Thank you very much for making our time to enable us, learn from your knowledge and experience as well. I also like to thank Architect Abdulrahman Bello for your presence and delivery here this evening. You are wonderful, and it was a fantastic presentation from you. And I hope everyone must have learned one or two things from all the presentations and discussion this evening. Thank you very much. Without wasting time, I also like to appreciate some of the organizations that have supported this webinar. ADLM Studios, you are number one, you are appreciated. Primo Frame Resources Limited is also one of them, and CPMC Limited as well. I'd like you to all know that this is just the starting point. The intention is to continue to have a conversation around issues bordering on our career development at intervals. you will expect to see our invitation for more sessions in the nearest future, where we'll drive in much more on some of the issues that have been discussed here today. Because as you can all see, those presentations are just being rushed over because of time. So once again, thank you very much, and I wish you a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, QS Ayodabo, and to the organizers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We look forward to next session. We'll be here to learn and to build up our capacity. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I can see QS from Canada, QS Badmos. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Emmanuel, thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. That was a good one. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good day.
Because, yes,
Yes, Abdulhafiz, thank you.
yes, Bola, Adeyera.
Yes, Olade, thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Yes, Lemon, Taiwo, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.